Hey there, my name's Jolly Green and welcome to episode 14 of my Vault Hunters playthrough. Now, update 9 for the mod pack just came out this past Sunday, so that's what we're going to be going over today is all the changes between the last version and this version, and hopefully we'll even get to run a vault and see some of those changes in action. Now, starting off the episode today, unfortunately, I have a bit of good news and some bad news. The bad news is that I went to record an episode for last week, and when I went to edit all the footage that I recorded, there was an audio issue that was beyond my technical know-how to fix. So, unfortunately, I had to scrap pretty much all of that footage that I got last week. But really, not too much happened. I ran some vaults and was able to get enough resources for the good news. We unlocked pouches. So we got our first mod. I was thinking about it long and hard, and I didn't want to just do the same thing that everybody else does in their playthrough of this game. But with the inventory issues that we were running into every vault that we were running anyways, pouches just made most sense. Now, the great thing about this pouch mod is that not only does it give us extra inventory, but it's also upgradable. Right now, we have this stack upgrade in here. So what that's going to do is if we have more than just one stack of item, it's able to take up this one spot up until 2 full stacks there. So that is going to be super handy when it comes to us getting loot out of the vault. Now, let's move on to the update. So as you can probably see in the top right hand corner, we have all of our skill points refunded back to us, and that's because they overhauled the skill system quite a bit. And you could also see that we also have 2 expertise points that we have. Now those are new points that were added that we would get 1 every 5 levels. So we're level 10 now, so that's why we only have 2. But if we come into the stats menu by pressing H on our keyboard, we'll actually see there's a new tab for expertise. Now, I'm tempted. I am super tempted to start taking these right away, but I don't believe there's really any way to refund these once you take them at the moment, so I don't want to start putting points into it when we're not really going to need it yet. So I think I'm going to hold off on anything from here, but let's take a look at some of the new things in this update. So this is the quest book that they've added. Now, they had a different book before. Let's see if I still have one handy. Yeah, right here. So this is the book that we started the world with, and this kind of just goes over all the various things and such to the mod pack, and like it's more of an information book than anything. But if we open the quest book, this is actually kind of walking you through all the things instead of just telling you about it. So we're going to do that today. We're going to run through that quest. We're going to run through that quest line. I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of it, but we'll at the very least get to the point where we're going to be having to run a vault, and then that's probably how we're going to finish the episode today is by running a vault. All right, let's dive right into these quests. We're going to open up the quest book, and if you don't have the quest book itself on you, you can always open the quest line by pressing the close bracket button on your keyboard. It's the one just above the enter button. And this is going to pull up our quest overview. Now, this introduction, obviously, I'm not going to read through it all word for word, but it kind of mentions the game rule that you can use to change your vault mode. We're not going to change that, but they did add some other game rules that we are going to look at. So there's the vault mode difficulty that they mentioned in the quest, and that is how you can change it from casual, normal, or hardcore. With normal, you get your spirit. It's what we've been playing on. When you die, you get a spirit afterwards that you can purchase your stuff back with. I personally like that option. Hardcore, you don't get a body afterwards. If you die, your stuff's gone. And then there's casual, which if you die, you don't need to worry about buying your stuff back. You just have it back automatically. But like I said, we're not going to change that at all. What we are going to look at, though, is the crystal mode. Now, this is what's going to determine how many resources go into crafting each vault crystal to be able to enter in your portal. I personally have been finding the crystal crafting recipes way too easy. So I am going to bump it up. We have been on normal. We're going to bump it up to grindy. So that should make it a little more difficult to get into the vaults, just requiring us to make some more farms. And I mean, that's really why I like this pack in the first place, is because I enjoy making farms in Minecraft, and then having a use for all those materials you get out of the farms is very satisfying. So the next thing we're going to look at is this vault loot game rule. We've been on normal, of course, that's just kind of the standard loot, but I have limited time to play this single player series. I've got my SMP, the Vault Hunters server that I have going, as well as a bunch of other projects. I have a family, so time to spend on this isn't as much as I'd like to have. So I do think we're going to bump it up to the plenty. So this should be 2 times the vault loot. So we're going to get some more stuff from the vaults, which should help us progress even faster. So now that we've covered those game rules, I think it's safe to say that we could probably check this quest off our list. That gets us a little bit of vault, cooked vault steak. And then we mark it as complete. Steak goes into our inventory, and we move on to the next quest, which is acquire some raw chromatic iron, which shouldn't be too difficult because I've got some right here. Quest complete. So we're probably just going to end up cruising through a lot of these. At some point, it's going to have us actually enter into a vault. I think this one here. So this may be kind of where we get to for today. But for now, we need to mine 16 vault stone. So that I could go down into the mines and actually try to find some vault stone the old-fashioned way, as it kind of describes in the quest line. Go down below -5 and go for it that way. But I can think of a more fun way to do it. Well, my plan was to go into the vault to find this vault stone because the ore POIs have just a bunch of it around. But so it looks like wanting to have harder crystal recipes is already coming back to bite us a little bit, because instead of just jumping into this vault to find that vault stone, I need a few more things. I need 15 melons and 5 gunpowder. I have 4 melon seeds, so in theory, the melons shouldn't really be that difficult to get. It's just a matter of waiting for melons to grow. So I've got my 4 melon seeds planted, so we just wait for those to grow up. In the meantime, we're going to need some gunpowder from creepers, which honestly, I'm kind of thinking the best way for us to find gunpowder maybe just hit up the mines anyways, and we can kind of look for both the vault stone and gunpowder at the same time. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If we do find the vault stone down in the mines, then we'll have this crystal ready for when we actually go into a vault. Don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up. Ah! All right, so that's going to be my biggest challenge, is actually managing to kill these. All right, I found this big cave system, kind of just fell into it. But let's see if we can actually kill some creepers down here. Don't blow up. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, and look at that! Vault stone. Cool. I knew we'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone down here. And of course, we're only at 2 gunpowder so far. So honestly, it's not the fastest way to get the gunpowder, but we completed the quest. So that's really what we were coming down here for, in all honesty. We're just trying to complete this quest line. I'm still going to try to find the last few creepers I need to get the rest of the gunpowder. But it's not quite as important now, and we're just going to need it before we can go into another vault. Oh wow, we're finding a ton of vault stone down here. Well, at least I know if I ever have trouble crafting crystals, I know where to go to get some chipped rock. But I honestly think our biggest hurdle at this point now is probably going to be the crafting recipe, not necessarily the chipped vault rock. I should have brought a looting sword, because I've killed a bunch of creepers and still only have 3 gunpowder. I think we needed, what, 7? Oh, there's another one. So we're getting there, just slowly. I actually don't... Well... Should I try to take out this monster box? Yeah, why not? We're probably going to die. This is probably going to be the death of us. Yep, especially with those. Son of a gun. Come on. Ah! Ah! I should have put some points into heal before I came down here, apparently. We're just going to take a second to rest up, and then we'll go get the rest of these creepers. Alright, if this guy manages to drop some gunpowder for me, then that should be the last one that we need. Now let's just go home, and we will continue this quest line. Now, my only problem at the moment is I'm not entirely sure how to get home. I got a waypoint to the surface, but I really should have put one at like the entrance to our tunnel to get down here. I don't know, if it comes down to it, we'll just dig straight up, but I think we'll be able to find our way. Is this daylight? Oh, I think I see the surface. We're almost out, boys. Uh-oh, we're gonna die. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave. Ah! No. Okay. It's not a huge deal. Look, it's not too far from the surface. Let's just go to sleep first, and then we'll go and get our stuffs. Now I've grabbed the looting sword, so, I mean, I should have done this right from the get-go, and we wouldn't have been down there half as long, but that's alright. Let's just go to the waypoint. We're going to ignore all the chaos going on around me, and we're just going to go get our stuff back. Oh, geez, what is that? Uh-oh. No, I don't want to mess with you. I just want my stuff. Now, in theory, there was definitely a hole poking out to the surface, so I think if we manage to get over here... Ooh. Then we should be able to get down into the cave without a problem. Ooh. Wow. This is a pretty wild entrance to this cave. Like, it's right on the edge of this frozen lake, and then it's just kind of a drop off into the cave. Now... Oh, there's still a bunch of skellies in here. That's not good. That's not good. I should have... we're in trouble here. Okay, cool. Now, before we actually drop in, I was kind of holding off to spend my points until we were getting ready to run a vault, but it seems that it's kind of necessary. So I'm going to dump 2 points into heal and a point into Stonefall. That's going to help us get in here and stay alive, hopefully. Alright. There's my body. Okay, we just need to get down there. And I have limited resources. Die. He did not like that snowball. Okay, let's go back there and try that again. Alright, let's try this again, but maybe this time a little more tactfully. Alright, let's just jump right in. See, that's one of the new changes to Stonefall that I really enjoy. It adds like a knockback effect when you come down and land, and it just makes you feel like a superhero. Alright, stuff's been retrieved. Let's dump some stuff into the shulker so we can get the rest of it. There. Alright, I'm out of here. Let's go home. Okay, so we're safe and sound back home, so let's continue these quests here. So we're going to complete this one and get some chipped vault rock as a reward. Now, the chipped vault rocks you found are used to craft a vault rock. Cool, makes sense. So we need to craft a vault rock. It should be easy enough. Now, I already have these. Is that enough to hold it? Yeah, it is. Cool, 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 cool. I was wondering. And we also need to acquire a vault altar. So, oh, we only needed 5 gunpowder. We got some extra. Cool. Oh, we had enough all along. What a pleb. Ugh, jeez. Okay, that's all right. We just need to wait for these melons to grow, and then we'll have this part of the crystal completed as well. But in order for this current quest to be completed, we need to acquire a vault altar. So let's hope we can break it without actually breaking anything else. Okay, we did get the rock back, which is good. We completed the quest. Now, if we put this back down and put the rock back... Okay, cool. I was worried it was gonna take all the ingredients again. And for that, we get a button to kind of indicate that you need to put a redstone signal to the altar in order to craft the crystal. Speaking of crystal crafting, that's what we're working on next, is we need to craft a crystal. So it's a good thing that we didn't quite finish up the one that we were working on yet, so that way we have it ready for this quest. Now, because I'm impatient and we have pretty much unlimited bones, I'm going to see if we can bone meal these melons to get the 15 that we need. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, but it's worth a shot. I think every time I go to bone meal melons, I forget that you can only bone meal up until the stalk's fully grown, and then after that, applying bone meal doesn't really do anything. You can't get them to spawn the melons faster. But let's take a look here real quick at the farmer ability, just because I'm impatient. This one here applies just to melons and pumpkins, this specialization. And because I'm impatient, I think I'm gonna take it. So now if we open up our ability wheel, select farmer, and then press G to activate it. Here we go. It is slow, but it's working. Sweet. Oh, I should have silk touched these. I probably would have gotten a bit more. You know, I wasn't the hugest fan of Farmer when they first announced the changes to it from the 2nd edition Vault Hunters to 3rd. But, I mean, honestly, doesn't get much handier than this. Whoops. And it doesn't even use up that much mana either. Like, we could keep doing this for a little while without actually running out. And I know I said I was going to get Silk Touch, but I don't actually have Silk Touch handy, so it would have been more effort to put Silk Touch on a tool than it is going to be to just combine these melon slices after the fact. You know what? Watch this melon here. I don't know if this is a bug or if this is intended. Either way, it's possibly exploitable, so don't tell Isco. But check it out. We have 1 melon stalk here, and then we hit farmer. And then, bam, we get 2 melons growing right here. Huh. All right, so that's all the melons that we really needed to finish this crystal, but that... I can't stop thinking about how this could make a better melon farm than you're going to be able to for quite some time. Let's... Watch this. 1 seed. 3 melons. Every time. 3 melons. Okay, maybe not every time, but consistently enough, you're getting an extra melon. So if we put another spot for seeds right here, and then stood like right here, bam. Oh, that's nice. I think we're gonna keep this here for now. Like, look at this. Ready? We can even do 1 more spot of seeds. right? And then come here. I think right here is probably, see, that's 2 melons. It would be cool if you could get them to consistently make 4. But I mean, in all honesty, I'll take these extras that we're getting now. That's nice. I didn't realize that about the farmer ability. Again, I think it may technically be a bug and not intended behavior, but as long as that's included, we're gonna keep that ability and that little setup that we have out here, because that's gonna be our quickest way for melons for a good hot minute. And with our crystal complete, we flip the lever. We get our crystal. And then our next quest is skills and talents, which I think is a great time to go over the skills and talents. We've kind of touched upon some already, but they've changed a lot. They've added a lot. Like, let's take Stonefall, for example. That was one that we had before that's now slightly different. So it reduces fall damage. It doesn't eliminate it. It reduces the fall damage when landing while active, knocking back mobs in a radius. That is a good change, and the particle effects with it are super cool. So as you can see here, damage reduction is 50%, so you're only going to take half the damage with only 1 point into it, but you take another point, 100% damage duration, or 100% damage reduction, lasts a second just like it did before, with a 5-second cooldown, with only costing 10 mana. This is right where we want this ability. That's going to make it so we don't take fall damage when jumping down and being reckless, and honestly, I kind of need that. So the next thing I think we're going to look at, as far as skills or abilities in this case that we want to take, there are some cool looking ones. Like, look at this. Smite, while active, Smite will periodically strike a mob within range, dealing a percentage of your damage. And it strikes it with lightning. Lightning comes down and just smites those. So it's cool, but I don't think it's something that we only have 5 skill points left. So I don't think we want to put that into Smite just yet. Hunter is still a good one. I mean, they didn't really change Hunter too much. They maybe adjusted some of these figures a little bit, but nothing major. This totem ability is pretty neat. So it creates a totem near you that heals all players, and there's other ones that like deal damage to a mobs, increase your damage, or increase your mana regen. So all of those are super handy, but when doing these abilities, I always forget about I don't want to say necessary ones, because depending on what you're doing, I suppose it's not really necessary. But for us in this early game level, I would say we can't not have at least 1 level into Dash and 1 level into Vein Mine. They did increase how many blocks Vein Mine does at once on the first level, so 8 blocks. That honestly should be plenty for us for now. Now with Dash, they also added a Dash Warp specialization that is kind of like an Ender Pearl. It shoots a magic arrow, and that arrow, you'll switch places with that teleportation. You can also swap places with another player or a mob, which is kind of handy, but I don't think I'm going to take that yet. I really enjoy just the classic Dash ability. What I am going to take, though, is 4 points. That would be super worth it. Speed's very nice to have, but I think for now, let's take at least 1 point into speed. Oh, I almost forgot about one of the coolest updates yet. Javelins. So this summons a magic javelin that's going to hit your foes from afar. So it's basically a ranged attack that deals an amount of damage based on your weapon damage. So I mean, it's a very handy thing to have. Doesn't cost a lot of mana. It's got a short cooldown, and I'm gonna take it. Now, there are specializations with this as well. The piercing is very nice. It reduces the damage that you do, though, so I don't think I'm going to take it quite yet. We're just going to leave it with the basic, and then when we use our middle mouse button, which is what I have it bound to, bam. It is going to be handy to be able to strike foes from afar. All right, your reward for this quest is 1 skill point. Ooh. Cool. So now we have an extra skill point. Which we only have 1, so I'm not gonna spend it yet. I am gonna save it. The next thing we have in our quest line is called Better Enchanting. This is another item that they added to the game this update, and this is going to be the Vault Enchanter, which is going to be a super useful station for us. It's just going to take an enchanting table, some emeralds, a book, and 2 chromatic iron blocks, which honestly should be quite doable. Oh yeah. We're just going to take this enchanting station that we already had, just because I don't think we're going to need it once we have this made. But let's grab a book. Where'll our books go? Here we go. And there we go. So this Vault Enchanter is super handy. We're going to place it back here. It doesn't need all the bookshelves around it, so we may end up tearing these down at some point. But for now, we have this super cool enchanting station. So remember how I was saying earlier that we didn't have Silk Touch on my tool, or any tool for that matter, and I was a little disappointed, and it was going to be more effort to get a Silk Touch book to put it on a tool than it would be like the time we'd be saving by using it. 1 second, I gotta sleep. We're going to take this diamond axe and we're going to stick it in the enchanter. And now look at this. Bam. All the enchantments that we could possibly want on it right at our fingertips. So we could just hit Silk Touch. Hit that. It's going to cost us 5 emeralds, but now we have Silk Touch on our axe. And we didn't have to go grind out a bunch of villagers and find the right trade. It's right as simple as that. So that way we can get into the vaults quick and easy. So we are starting to run low on time for today's episode, but this next piece that we're going to get into is going to be handy. Better health potions? Oh, tell me more. Well, with this update, they added an item called a vial. Now, these vials, there's different sizes. There's the smallest size that only recharges or heals 4 hit points. But that is a really easy to craft potion. Like this is nothing. A poppy, a bottle, and a chromatic iron ingot. But that's going to give us a little extra healing inside the vault. That's not going to cost us any mana. Now, the big difference between this is there were vanilla health potions in the game already. They were more expensive before, and I mean, honestly, it was kind of a pain to be able to make and not so much worth it. Now, the vanilla potions, if you were to make them and take them into the vault, you still can, but every time you drink a health potion in the vault, your healing efficiency, if it's a vanilla potion anyways, your healing efficiency is going to go down. To the point where you're going to be getting next to nothing from any type of healing you do, whether it be your heal ability or anything like that. A heal cloud, it's just going to be less effective overall for that vault. We don't want to mess with that. What we do want to mess with, though, are these vials, because I think they are going to help us out tremendously. And a super cool thing about the potions, if we hit shift, look at those. Do you see those empty suffixes on this big one? That's 3 empty suffixes, which you can put abilities on potions. I'm going to say that again, just in case you didn't hear me. You can put abilities on potions now, which means once we get the right station, like we do need an alchemy station, I believe it's called. Once we have this made up, we can upgrade those bigger potions to maybe give us more mana regen or additional mana or things like that, knockback resistance, just basically the same suffixes and stuff that you can put on your gear. We can now put on potions to give us that effect after we drink the potion for a limited time. So that is going to be immensely helpful. So let's make this vial. Now, I went with the one that recharges after 5 minutes. I think this is going to be better for us at first. The other option we have is this one that recharges after every 150 mobs killed, which it has its uses. I think 150 may be a little too much for this basic vial. It seems like quite the stretch to get it to recharge any. But after 5 minutes, getting a recharge is not so bad. We're gonna give these a shot and see how they work for us in the vault. And then our next quest is just the soul shard pouch, which we've kind of gone over before in past episodes. This is even going to get us half a stack of soul shards. Sweet. So there we have it. We've gotten all the first quests done up until this build a vault. We need to enter a vault and we'll get some bronze for it. But I think that's going to have to wait until next episode because we're kind of out of time. But if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a like. If you learned anything about the update 9, let me know in the comments down below. If I missed anything that's super important, which most likely happened, let's face it. But if I did, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Share your knowledge with everybody. I certainly appreciate it. And I'm sure anybody reading the comments would appreciate it as well. Now, before we go, I do just kind of want to briefly mention one thing. My next video may not be in this single-player world because I've been working on something. In my SMP for Vault Hunters, I've actually put together a little mini-game for us to play. We haven't gotten to play it too much. We've done a little bit of testing for it to make sure that it's actually functional, but I think it's almost time for this game to make its YouTube video debut. So I'm going to put together a little video for that. That'll probably be the next thing that hits the channel. So if you aren't subscribed already, make sure you do so you can see that video drop. It's going to be exciting, I promise. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, stay jolly.